Allman Brothers, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Good morning, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V. It is Friday, April 7th, 10:05 in the a.m. and 58 degrees and rainy here in the beautiful Rio Grande Valley. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. We're here for you until 11 o'clock, but make sure after Office Hours you stay tuned for Feminist Hour, which is DJ Morena Libre, over at the Brownsville station. So make sure you stay tuned. We got some great music coming up for you this hour. Got a poem picked out from the 2022 edition of Gallery Magazine. That'll be a great poem. And then, as we always do, at the bottom of the hour, we've got This Day in History on Friday, April 7th. Looks like the weather for today is going to be rainy. Not just here, but in Houston, where our men's baseball team is going to be playing, or at least on the schedule for playing at Houston Christian tonight at 7 p.m. So we'll see how the weather turns out. Game might be delayed due to rain, but we'll be wishing our Vaqueros good luck against Houston Christian this weekend. Looks like they got a 3-game series this weekend, 7 p.m. tonight. And then a doubleheader tomorrow at Houston Christian. First game at 12, second game at 3. Then the next game up in Corpus on April 11th at 6 p.m. Taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the Islanders up in Corpus. So baseball's got a few games coming up. Looks like they're on the road for that. They don't come back to play locally until April 14th. Well, pardon me, not even April 14th. Looks like they're on the road for a while here. The April 14th game is at Utah Valley, and they've got a weekend series at Utah Valley that's next weekend. So make sure you're cheering on your Vaqueros. We're looking for a high of 60 degrees this afternoon, and for the weekend, your Easter weekend, it looks like we've got Saturday, more chance of rain with a high of 67. Sunday, high of 75, partially sunny, but another 36% chance of rain on Sunday for your Easter Sunday. Let's get back to the music. Right now, you first heard Whippin' Post by the Allman Brothers Band. And right now, let's get back into another great band that really more associated with the Big Chill movie than anything else. This is the band with The Weight, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. It's James Taylor with Country Road on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Good morning, everyone. This is DJ Doc V with you till 11 o'clock. You're listening to Office Hours on Vaquero Radio. It is 10:20 on Friday, April 7th, 58 degrees in the beautiful Rio Grande Valley, but rain on and off today. So our baseball team is up in Houston this evening to play Houston Christian. Not sure if that rain's going to keep them from having their game, but good luck to them on the road. Boy, we're only a month away from the end of the semester, so if you're just coming out of, spring break was a couple weeks ago, so we're fastly approaching the end of the semester. Make sure you're getting all your work in, doing the studying for those high-stakes tests in case you have any. And summer semester will be coming up starting June, first week in June. So if you're taking summer classes, make sure that you are prepared for that. You heard the band in that last set with The Weight. That was followed by Billy Joel, Moving Out, also known as Anthony's Song. And we ended up that with James Taylor and Country Road. I picked out a few songs that have to do with rain, since it's an event that is rare here in the Rio Grande Valley. And we'll start it off with a little Led Zeppelin. Love this song. It's called The Rain Song, and you're only going to hear it on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. A little Husker Du for you on this Friday morning, April 7th. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. That was from Warehouse Songs and Stories, the song Standin' in the Rain by Husker Du, the Minnesota-based band out of Mendota Heights, Minnesota, formed in 1979. Grant Hart, Bob Mould and Greg Norton. Bob Mould still on the scene. He had a project after Husker Du called Sugar, which was a group, but then he's done a lot of solo work as well. Grant Hart also some solo work. I believe, unfortunately, Greg Norton, still originally from Davenport, Iowa, still a musician, formerly of the band Husker Du. I think it was, Grant Hart passed away not too long ago, back in September of 2017. But Bob Mould still on the scene, still making music. One of the great things about Husker Du, you got to really hand it to the band that started their music career, pressing a record called Land Speed Record. That was their first record. It was a live album. How many bands do live albums as their first record? That's just bananas. And those songs on Land Speed Record, I mean, they just go one into the next. We're talking, this is punk, right? This is early. Even before, we really couldn't consider Husker Du new wave. They were definitely punk, certainly around the early days. By the time they got to Warehouse Songs and Stories, I guess it was a little bit more new wave. But Land Speed Record, just, in your face, bananas kind of music, really, really nuts. I still have that vinyl in my collection, Land Speed Record. It's a great one. Well, as we do every week on Office Hours, we talk about this day in history. And the day, April 7th, the year 1862, the Battle of Shiloh concludes after 2 days of heavy fighting near Pittsburgh Landing in western Tennessee. The Battle of Shiloh became a Union victory after the Confederate attack stalled on April 6th, and fresh Yankee troops drove the Confederates from the field on April 7th. Shiloh began when Union General Ulysses S. Grant, future president, brought his army down to the Tennessee River to Pittsburgh Landing in an effort to move on Corinth, Mississippi, 20 miles to the southwest. Union occupation of Corinth, a major rail center, would allow the Yankees to control nearly all of western Tennessee. Also on this day in history, Astros' Ken Forsch pitches his first no-hitter, matching the feat by his brother, who had about a year earlier pitched a no-hitter himself, his brother Bob. This was Houston Astros pitcher Ken Forsch's first career no-hitter. Ken and Bob became the first and only brothers to pitch official no-hitters in Major League Baseball history. In 1994, on April 7th, violence fuels the launch of what would become the worst episode of genocide since World War II, the massacre of an estimated 500,000 to 1 million innocent civilian Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Following the first wave of massacres, Rwandan forces managed to discourage international intervention with the murder of 10 Belgian peacekeeping officers. The Tutsis, a minority group that made up about 10% of Rwanda's population, received no assistance from the international community, although the United Nations later conceded that a mere 5,000 soldiers deployed at the outset would have stopped the wholesale slaughter. In fact, Bill Clinton later called America's failure to stop the genocide the biggest regret of his administration. In 1805, on April 7th, after a long winter, the Lewis and Clark expedition departs its camp among the Mandan tribe and resumes its journey west. The Corps of Discovery had begun its voyage the previous spring, and it arrived at the large Mandan and Minnetree villages along the upper Missouri River, north of present-day Bismarck, North Dakota, in late October. Once at the villages, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark directed the men to build a sturdy log fort. The following winter was a harsh one, but the expedition had plenty of provisions. And finally, this day in 1970, American actor John Wayne wins a Best Actor Oscar for his star turn in director Henry Hathaway's Western True Grit. Wayne appeared in some 150 movies over the course of his long and storied career. He established his tough, rugged, uniquely American screen persona most vividly in the many acclaimed films he made for the directors John Ford and Howard Hawks from the late 1940s into the early 1960s. He earned his first Oscar nomination in the Best Actor category for Sands of Iwo Jima, 1949. The Alamo in 1960, which Wayne produced, directed, and starred in, earned a Best Picture nomination. That's this day in history on this April 7th, 2023. 58 degrees in Edinburgh and cloudy. Looks like we can expect some more rain this afternoon, but don't worry. Since we're still talking about rain, here's another couple of songs for you related to rain. From REM's first record, here's South Central Rain, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. 10:51 here in the beautiful UTRGV Edinburgh campus. Good morning, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V with you here for office hours till 11 o'clock, but make sure you stay tuned for Feminist Hour coming up at 11 o'clock with DJ Morena Libre out of our Brownsville studios. You just heard The Cure with Boys Don't Cry. Before that, it was the Pogues, Irish band formed in King's Cross, London, way back in the late 70s, early 80s with Rain Street. And then we started off that second rain-themed set with REM and South Central Rain. So thanks for listening. As we do every week, I've got a poem picked out for you. This one from the 2022 Gallery Magazine edition, another fine production of UTRGV Student Media. This poem is called A War Refugee's Cry by Ismail Perez. War paralyzes. Where is reality? Where are all those peaceful days? It seemed before there are so many falsehoods in the world. Now I know also a lot of kindness. I have not heard so many words of concern, and the phrase, "How are you?" got shades. Strangers fleeing in droves, stranded in a foreign land. How often do they ask, "Where are you?" They tell me, "Hold on," but who do you hold on to? All those close to me told me to go. How bitterly Mother cried that night. How hard it sounds to say goodbye. You don't say goodbye. Mom, can you hear me? I'm screaming at you, trying to find a connection. I'm so afraid that suddenly you won't get through. I hope to hug you again. That's a poem called A War Refugee's Cry by Ismail Perez from the 2022 edition of Gallery Magazine. Make sure you pick up Gallery Magazine when you see it here on campus. I believe the spring 2023 edition will be coming out very soon, so make sure you pick that up. Got some great student creative folks here at UTRGV. And if you are a creative type, you write poetry, you do artwork, make sure you're reaching out to Gallery Magazine. Get yourself published. It'd be something really nice to put in your portfolio, or at least have a great memory later on and during your college days, right? So let's get back to the music. We've got another couple songs coming at you. Here's Todd Rundgren with Bang the Drum All Day, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station.